Buffalo, Wyoming is rich in history. It started out as an army post that protected people who were traveling along the Bozeman Trail, and then it became a big area where the sheriff organized a posse of 200 to lay down the law against great cattle barons and members of the Wyoming Stock Growers Association. There was a huge fight in this area, and it became known as the Johnson County War. So there's lots of information about that in the area, and also in a town prior to this where it actually happened in Casey, and I do a short video on that town too. We stopped here for lunch. There was also another story called The Virginian, which was written and takes place in the Accidentals Hotel, which also became famous because of the story, the book, the movie, the show, and also it became a very famous place. Theodore Roosevelt, Calamity Jane, Butch Cassidy, Sundance Kid have all been in this town. So if you're interested in Wyoming history, this would be a good place to research, and I have links in the description about that. So we were just passing through, stopped for lunch, and I thought I'd show you what this small town in Wyoming looks like, and then if you have interest in it, you might want to put it on your tourist. We stopped for lunch at the Busy Bee Cafe. We should have walked out like so many other people did because there was this awful noise, which I'll give you a taste of it in a little bit. But it was just so noisy, and that's where we found out that Longmire was filmed here too. So I think they're riding on there's the noise. Buffalo, Wyoming. This is the home of Longmire. How many of you watched that show? It was a pretty good series. I didn't realize this is where it's based. Of course, the filming was really done in Santa Fe, but it's a really nice small town. We stopped here because we are having breakfast at the Busy Bee Cafe. I'm just gonna take a walk uptown. Actually, it was so noisy in the cafe, I had to get out of there. So here's a quick look at the town as I quickly walked around. As with many of these towns that become popularized because of movies or whatever, it doesn't really have the same feel as a classic old Western town, but one could dig in there and I'm sure find a lot more of the historic places around town. It is a beautiful setting and a beautiful town. I can see why the Netflix people chose this as the setting for their creation. It's a beautiful town. We did drive around after this a little bit too, which I'll show you. So there's another nice mural back in there. It gives you an idea of what some of the buildings look like. I imagine this really isn't your typical tourist. I mean, this isn't your typical small town in Wyoming because now it's a major tourist attraction. Look at that beautiful mural. Oh, it looks like they've got some really nice shops. This is Northside Creek. I'll show you the river here. It's Apparently they have some really good trails, and of course the Bighorn Mountains are right behind us, so it's a big tourist attraction through the back roads. Well, that just gives you a little sense of what Buffalo, Wyoming looks like. So I'm going back in the restaurant, and you can hear how loud it was. Whew, that's enough of that. That was our breakfast. Not that great. So we drove around a little bit, just trying to get a sense of the town, but again, we weren't really on a vacation stop. We were traveling for work mostly. So the rest of the video, I'll just give you a little more sense of what the town looks like as you're heading north and leaving the town.